Hi, I'm Grace Baroni, and welcome to Conversations with the ERC5. Today, I am delighted to have as our guest Jennifer Orenstein, and she is with Aquarius Performance and Wellness. Jennifer, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure to have you here with us today.
So happy to be here.
And can we talk about your beautiful space
Yes.
in East Longmeadow? Because it is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Yes, a labor of love.
It's reflected. And I think you maybe also missed a calling in interior design, architecture.
I did miss my calling, yes. I wanted to be an architect in high school, yeah.
Did you?
So,
I think you may have a second career there.
yes, brought a lot of those design aspects that I like in my personal life into Aquarius. So, yeah, we spent a long time on that build out, and I wanted every piece to be perfect and thoughtfully kind of laid out for our patients to have a beautiful space to come into and feel very comfortable. Nice.
You've accomplished it.
Yeah.
I'd
Thank
like
you.
to make it my office, actually. It's like, can I just have a small corner? Because it just
Absolutely.
does have a very, like, relaxing Zen kind of vibe, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it just
Yeah.
feels really good in there.
It was really important that we stayed gender neutral and created a space where we were building a community where people wanted to come in and just hang out and see us even when they didn't necessarily have to be there. And a lot of people will use it as a little bit of like a working space for themselves too. So if they have an appointment, we like to try to make things convenient as possible for people. So yeah, that was really important.
You definitely created that. So now let's talk about the services that you provide. Because every time I go on your website, I'm ready to sign up for everything. It's like, I need all of these treatments.
Yeah.
And where do we begin?
Yeah.
How do we know where to go?
Good question. Yeah. So we are really turning into a full-fledged longevity clinic, longevity practice, which is exciting. We started with our IV drip lounge and really looking to bring services to the community that weren't really readily available around here. So that was our goal. And then also kind of focusing on treatment modalities that could keep people healthy, address root cause issues, and keep them potentially out of the hospital. So, so then we started with, again, our very beautiful IV drip lounge. So we do our vitamin infusions, our vitamin injections, and then we also focus on both men's health and women's health because there was a need in the community, of course. So we focus on going down into root cause issues of what might be causing symptoms in patients, hormonal balancing, of course, deep dives into lab work so we can kind of uncover what might be going on. And we dig a lot into cardio metabolic health and lifestyle and nutrition coaching. So really kind of looking at the whole picture.
So I have a whole bunch of questions, but I forgot to mention one important thing. Share with our listeners your background, because you also don't want someone doing your infusions and making suggestions and all of this without knowing their background. And once I learned your background and the background of your staff, it is so impressive, the team that you have compiled. Can we just share a little bit of that? Because I think that's
Sure.
really very important.
Yeah, absolutely. We have an amazing staff, which has been also one of our other missions in building this community. So I've been in nursing since 2012, and I've been a nurse practitioner for almost a decade now. So I'm double board certified in both family and acute care medicine. I still work as a hospitalist, so working the night shift in between everything else. And everybody that works with us also does work in local hospitals as well. So, but what we focus on in our practice is really that regenerative and longevity medicine. And so all of our education and conferences that we attend and certifications that we have gotten already or are working towards are all in very specialty areas that are of services that we treat, so or that we offer.
Thank you for that, because I do think that's really important to know the background of
Yes.
your team. So, and I think longevity is a beautiful thing. And as a senior citizen, I think to myself, like, why wasn't I focusing on this at a much earlier age, right? And I think it's great that we're all talking about it now when we're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, because what we do then is going to reflect. Yes. So I think that's so important for us to understand our body and what we're putting into it.
Absolutely.
And what should we be doing now so that I can continue to live a vibrant lifestyle.
Yeah. That comes up a lot, and I feel like the culture is changing and it is shifting. And, unfortunately, our traditional medical model is very reactive. It's a sick care model, and that was something that I realized from many, many years of working in the hospital. And at one point, you kind of sit back and reflect on that, and you think, what can I be doing to bring to the community something different that can maybe avoid these issues that we're seeing in the hospital? So that really did become our big mission. And people don't want to accept that they're getting older or they have busy lives and family and kids. And we hear this time and time again from our patients. They want to know, well, what can I do about it, though? They don't want to accept that they're just going to be tired. So that's really when we draw comprehensive lab work right in our office, and we dig down deep into advanced laboratory testing so we can see what might be going on. And then we're also marrying in lifestyle factors with potential medications that we can offer in order to really turn back the clock. They're anti-aging modalities that we have. And our patients tell us time and time again that I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I feel like I'm in my 30s again. So as we start to age, one of the first things that happens is our hormone levels start to decline. And, and then if on top of it, if we're not living a healthy lifestyle, it's what we practice in our 20s and 30s and 40s that is going to carry us on to our second part of life. And so it's not only lifespan, but it's health span. So when you're living in your later years, what do you want those years to look like? So I think people are realizing that, and they're wanting to kind of get back to the basics and root cause medicine. So that really is what we're trying to do, is undercover the root cause of people's symptoms, and then bring them from a suboptimal or a normal level into a very optimal range. So we don't want to keep people normal. We really truly want them to be optimized.
I love it. and it is. That's what I think we're all looking for. Instead of waiting for that moment where, I've got to dial 911 and I'm headed to the hospital.
Yeah.
And now what do I do? Now I'm being, as you said, reactive. But what if? I know that there's going to be hiccups maybe down the road, but how do I plan for them? And how can I make sure that that physically my body is operating at that optimal level so that I can continue to do the things that I've always done? Maybe I can't go out and run a marathon, but I still want to go out and run.
Absolutely.
So how do I make that happen? How do you guide me in developing a program or lifestyle changes that would enable me to do that?
Yeah, so we use a stepwise approach. So the first thing is going to be coming in for that comprehensive blood work evaluation. And we have some other advanced testing coming down the line very quickly too, which will be a great addition. But we're going to sit down with, once that lab work comes back, you're going to sit down with a provider and you're going to spend close to 2 hours. You don't get that in traditional medicine, right? So you're going to dig deep into not only the lab markers on the paper and explaining all of them to you, because typically that also doesn't happen, but listening to you and how you're feeling and what your goals are. So it's bringing those two pieces together and really doing the education on the lab work, how you're feeling, and then coaching on lifestyle, and then presenting treatment options. So there's never a pressure to do any one specific thing, but it's really our job is to educate and tell you everything that would be available for you to do and for us to do in order to bring everything together to really get you optimal.
I love that. And I love the fact that you are dedicating 2 hours to sit there with me, because maybe my blood work comes back, but you don't, if we don't have the opportunity for me to say, hey, I don't understand, what does that mean? Could you just explain that to me?
Yep.
Or, well, Grace, what else is going on in your life? Like the dialogue has to be there
100%.
so that we both know together the direction that we want to go in.
Yeah, we go through every lab marker more from a functional standpoint. So it really is performance-based medicine. And we like our patients to take an active approach to their healthcare. So those are the patients that are most successful with us, are the ones that don't mind putting in the work, because there is no quick fix in medicine and something will always catch up with you. So it's really important that people are just as enthusiastic about it as we are, because we can do our part and we can dial you into a perfect protocol with, hormone balancing or weight management medications or IV nutrition. But if you're not also doing your piece, you're not going to be getting 100% out of it. And that really is the goal.
Okay. So I wish we could go on much longer, but we can continue the conversation when I come in for my blood work, and then we can sit down and map what my future is going to look like.
Sure.
But for those listening, what is the best way for them to learn more about you and to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I try to be as active as I can on social media. So you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Aquarius IV, like our IV drip or infusions, and also on our website at aquariusiv.com. And then also we have an open door policy. Like I said, come in, visit our beautiful space, because all of our nurses, our practice manager, all of our staff, other nurse practitioners, we're all there. And we love to have conversations with people. There's really nothing that's off limits. So we've probably seen or heard it all. And we're there, we're ready, and we're willing to kind of just have those conversations with people, even if you don't have an appointment with us.
Okay. And I can attest to that because I've stopped in and you guys are very warm and welcoming. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining us today. It was a pleasure having you with us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us for Conversations with the ERC5. If you'd like to be the next guest here at Stonegate Studios in Wilbraham, visit our website, ERC5.com, and you can sign up there.